YouTube citizens? It's your boy, the Tru Inferno, back with another Black Ops 2 commentary video. Now, first and foremost, let me start this off by saying I got the NBA playoffs correct for the most part. There was only 2 games that I got wrong, and those 2 games was in the first round, and I already talked about those 2 games going into the NBA Finals. Congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs. You guys deserved it. Y'all deserved it last year. Y'all deserved it a couple of years ago. But y'all finally got it this year. Y'all definitely deserved it this year. Y'all been playing like men on a mission, and y'all got it done. So big ups to the Spurs and for San Antonio's fans. Now, remember, 2 weeks ago, I did a video regarding my 10 questions and answers regarding E3. Well, as I promised, I'm doing a reaction video to those questions. I already posted the article up online somewhere, but here's the video version. So what's going to happen is I'm going to read y'all the 10 questions that I asked. I'm going to try to summarize my answers, and I'm going to give y'all a reaction to my answers in those questions in this video. So let's get straight into it with question 1. Which game could blow people's minds at E3? I said Tom Clancy's The Division, my leading candidate. And then Uncharted 4 is another candidate for this honor, even though Uncharted was never really my cup of tea. It have always been an outstanding series, you know, despite me never playing it. Batman Arkham Knight is in 3rd place for me, and then a dark horse for this honor is Deep Down. Now, my reaction to this is, well, we did get more out of The Division this year, and despite the fact that it looked good, it didn't blow a lot of people's minds, in my opinion. You know, it got a good ovation, but nothing like mind-popping. Next was Uncharted 4. And despite the fact we all saw this coming, as far as Uncharted 4 being at this year's E3, it still got a great reaction, especially since it showed us that beautiful graphics. It looks amazing. Now, whether that's gameplay or a trailer remains to be seen. I will also have to say that this game did the job of blowing some people's minds. Batman was really close with the gameplay inside the Batmobile, though. And Deep Down was unfortunately not shown at E3 this year. I want to ride, Capcom. That's another story for another day. Now, one game that I believe blew people's minds the most was Star Fox on the Wii U. And close second was The Legend of Zelda on the Wii U. And in close third was Rainbow Six Siege. That was extremely huge as well. Alright, question 2. Which game am I looking forward to that is confirmed so far? Now, let me explain this whole confirmed fiasco. During my E3 coverage, I posted a link of games that was confirmed, and at the same time that not confirmed but could still be at E3. Now, when this list was out prior to me writing that article, my 10 Q&As regarding E3, you know, it looked a certain way, but as E3 was occurring, that list changed, you know, so all the games that was not confirmed became confirmed and so forth and whatnot. So the list changed over time, basically. We go into question 2 and question 3. There's only 3 games that I'm looking forward to that are confirmed. I said Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Tom Clancy's The Division, and also Street Fighter 4. But here's my reaction. Activision did points yet again, as they only showed us single-player gameplay during conference. Now, it might be possible that they showed us actual multiplayer gameplay on the side. However, I shouldn't have to Google search for that, as again, it should have been presented during Microsoft's press conference. I watched the gameplay of Tom Clancy's The Division, and even though it looks sweet, it don't look like my cup of tea. The third game I said was also Street Fighter 4. It was briefly mentioned during Sony's press conference. However, I recently learned that the hard copy of the game will be available August 5th for $40, whereas the digital upgrade is out now. Yeah, I should probably get that digital upgrade after I get done making this video. Question 3 regarding that list that I mentioned. Going back to question 2. Which games am I looking forward to that is not confirmed to be at E3 so far? Where I said there was only 4 games. Final Fantasy 15, Mirror Edge 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Kingdom Hearts 2.5. I also said that I was expecting release dates for all except for Kingdom Hearts 3 and maybe Mirror Edge 2. Well, here's my reaction. This was extremely disappointing. First off, the news regarding 2.5 Remix were announced just a couple of days before E3. So everything 2.5 Remix related for E3 was leaked in advance. Also, that little snippet of a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 that went along with the 2.5 Remix news was leaked as well at the same time. But at least we got a release date for 2.5, December 2nd in the US, and 3 days later in Europe rather. Meanwhile, there were no Final Fantasy 15 anything at E3, And EA fucked up again. More on them in a second, as they presented us very little about Mirror Edge 2. Question 4. After EA, which game will appear to be the king of shooting games, Call of Duty or Battlefield? Now, I said that, with COD, they messed up with Ghost, and Battlefield is on the rise, so it's getting close in my opinion. So, and I said, if EA presented Battlefield 5 and Hardline this year, and both of them are good, then Battlefield may take over. If Advanced Warfare is as good as I expect it to be, then COD will retain its title. Now, here's what my reaction to this. The key word in this question is appear, and it appears to be that Battlefield will be the king of shooting games when it comes out. Based on what we saw at E3 this year, Battlefield did everything opposite to what Call of Duty did. Multiplayer gameplay, beta, and then this one is more opinionated in my opinion. Obviously, more opinionated rather. It was presented in Sony's press conference. Now, I can say if PS4 would get content first because Battlefield made by EA, and EA got that deal with Microsoft. But it could be just EA Sports that got that deal with Microsoft. I don't know. I forgot. Now, Battlefield did go away from the war-type shooter and went with the cops and robbers scenario this year. But it's still obvious that they are competing with Call of Duty. So if Advanced Warfare flops like Ghost did and Hardline is really good, then Battlefield will definitely take over. But at the shadows are Titanfall 2, which will be released for Xbox One and PS4, and Rainbow Six Siege. Question 5. What to expect from EA? My answer, hopefully a lot. EA Sports UFC for starters. It was presented last year and it's still not out yet. And then I kept on going, blah, blah, blah. I already talked about Battlefield Hardline and a possible Battlefield 5. Dragon Age Inquisition is expected at E3 and will be huge. Sounded like LeBron, EA may show not 1, not 2, but possibly 3 Star Wars games. One of them is confirmed. There's that word again, in the form of Star Wars Battlefront. The other 2 are Star Wars Attack Squadron and one by Viscera Projects. And of course the Sims 4. I also mentioned Mirror Edge 2 already, and of course the usual. FIFA, Tiger Woods, you can scratch that, call it PGA Tour, NHL, and Madden. A possible appearance from Mass Effect 4, but the biggest mystery in my eyes is NBA Live. Will there be a new one? I hope not. My reaction to this answers, EA did present a lot, but it was mostly disappointing. UFC was good. I'm still stunned that the game came out a week after E3. So this game came out yesterday, June the 17th. With no advertising of any kind prior to E3. No Battlefield 5, but we did get hardline multiplayer gameplay in the beta, so EA did correct there. They was right there. Also, Dragon Age Inquisition was there, and it was huge. And just like the LeBron and the Miami Heat, EA came up short with the number of Star Wars games. Only glimpse of Battlefield was shown as the developers talked throughout that video. Extremely disappointing. To make matters worse, they did the same thing with the new Mirror Edge with the new Mass Effect in Mirror Edge 2. And we saw a sweet looking FIFA, an interesting looking PGA Tour game, no Tiger Woods on the title and cover, and an outcode NHL game, and a typical Madden. No NBA Live at the press conference, but it was still at E3. Also Sims 4 and either a game called Dorngate or a game from a company called Dorngate, plus a game from Criterion Games. Alright, question 6. What about Ubisoft? I said the new Assassin's Creed Unity game, but I also mentioned Assassin's Creed Comment as well. Far Cry 4 is confirmed, and Tom Clancy The Division, Beyond Good and Evil 2, as well as more info on the crew, but not much from Ubisoft. Well, Far Cry 4 started in March and it was huge. Of course, they talked about Unity, and it may be huge this year. Comment was mentioned on the side. Also, The Division was mentioned again. No Beyond Good and Evil 2, but we did get Just Dance 15, The Crew, Shape Up, Valiant Hearts, which is deep as hell, and the biggest shocker of all, Rainbow Six Siege. Question 7 rather. Which game makes me sigh and shake my head? I said Killer Instinct Season 2. Why is there a Season 2? I didn't like how it was presented in the form of buying characters rather than the whole game. Now I believe that the game itself is good, but that's pretty much it. Also the lack of fighting games. Is that, Killer Instinct and Ultra Street Fighter 4 E3. That's it. Nothing about Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Injustice, anything. Well, my reaction to that. Killing Instinct Season 2 wasn't at Microsoft's press conference, but it was still at E3, and I still shook my head at that. Mostly because of TJ, Combo, and Fulgore being added to Season 2, they should have been added in Season 1. They should have been added in Season 1. Only one fighting game made it to conference. Mortal Kombat X with gameplay and fatalities. It looks amazing. But the Live 15 announcement aside made me shake my head as well. Not to mention EA's handling of Mirror Edge 2, Mass Effect, and Battlefront. And don't get me started on Call of Duty again. So I was right and then some. Question 8. Which video game company, outside of those that make systems, will have the best showing? And I said EA. They have more games to present, not to mention Mirror Edge 2. That game alone tops any game Ubisoft can present. I was wrong here. Quality beats quantity this time around, as Ubisoft had the better showing. First of all, Aisha Tyler, their host, is fine. Second, Rainbow Six Siege, Valiant Heart, and Far Cry 4 carried them big time. EA did nothing to counter. They did show Mass Effect, Mirror Edge 2, and Battlefront, but they messed up with those showings. Everything they had couldn't compete. Not even multiplayer gameplay and beta of Hardline. And finally, Aisha Tyler is fine. Question 9. As my gameplay ended, once again, Nintendo is not showing up at E3, but doing another digital event. What must Nintendo do to save itself this time around? First of all, let me address that Smash Brothers tournament. I'll talk about how they go do a Smash Brothers tournament at E3, and we're gonna move on for there. Now it's not confirmed that the recently announced Pokemon games would be at E3, but I don't mind either way because they're basically knockoffs of Pokemon games that were created in the past, rather. Bayonetta 2, Hyrule Warriors, Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, and especially X, that Monolith project, must be at E3. X may be the only reason why I may get a Wii U. Most importantly, these games must have 2014 release dates. Finally, The Legend of Zelda for the Wii U. I don't want to go in a rant about how they neglect the Zelda games on the Wii U so far. Now, here's my reaction to that answer. The Super Smash Bros. Tournament was not presented during their digital event. This is good. Now, Bayonetta 2 and Hyrule Warriors have 2014 release dates. X became Xenoblade Chronicle X, but had a 2015 release date. And there was no Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, but Star Fox on the Wii U, a new Yoshi game, Devil's Third, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal World Dual Carnival made up for it in a big way. However, all those games, with the exception of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Devil's Third, we don't have a release date, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes out this year, but the other games I mentioned, 2015 bound. And yes, they have announced the new Legend of Zelda. So Nintendo had the best showing at E3 and will survive. And the last question, question 10. Last year, Sony won against Microsoft as far as their conferences. Who wins this year? Okay, and I'll talk about what Sony did last E3, and then let's talk about what I said about this year's E3. Let's see. PS4. I already talked about what PS4 did last year, but none of the games didn't come out yet. Blah blah blah, so forth, whatnot. And I talked about what Microsoft got up the table. And I said Microsoft got Gears of War 4, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Project Spark, Chrono Break, and Sunset Overdrive. Not to mention the Xbox One would be $400 without the annoying Kinect, so that's a plus to some degree. In my opinion, it should be $350. Sony had possibly a new God of War and Uncharted 4. Sony would need help in the form of Square Enix and especially Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3. If both of those games have release dates, whether it's this year or next year, Uncharted have a release date, and a new God of War is revealed with a release date, I'm kind of pushing it, but then Sony will barely win. If one of these things does not happen, Microsoft wins. Here's my reaction to that. This is a tough one, because both conferences were a bit disappointing in the form of nothing blockbuster happening. Let's look at the pluses and negatives to both conferences. Microsoft presented Halo 5 Guardians to a degree, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Project Spark, and Sunset Overdrive, all of them big IPs. They also presented Rise of the Tomb Raider, Crackdown 3, Evolve, Assassin's Creed Unity, COD, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Homefront. All of them probably will be on the PS4 as well. No Gears of War 4 and no Chrono Break. Microsoft focused on games. Sony, meanwhile, presented Uncharted 4, The Order 1886, Little Big Planet 3, which got a huge ovation once that logo popped up, Grim Fandango remastered, as the crowd went crazy for that, and a remastered Last of Us for the PS4. They also presented Grand Theft Auto 5, Batman, Battlefield Hardline, Destiny, Bloodborne, Mortal Kombat X gameplay, Dead Island 2, Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain, Diablo 3 Reaper Soul, and Far Cry 4. All will probably be on the Xbox One as well. No God of War, and nothing from Square Enix in their press conference. Sony did present more betas than Microsoft. Beta for Hardline and beta for Destiny. All free, by the way, versus Halo 5's beta, which can only be attained from buying the Master Chief Collection. Sony presented a Destiny bundle with the right PS4. Sony focused on games and stuff for their systems, whereas Microsoft did not. I have to say that I was wrong, as Sony barely won with their selection of IPs, referring to Uncharted 4, Little Big Planet 3, The Order, over the Master Chief Collection and Sunset Overdrive. Halo 5 don't count since it was briefly mentioned by voice and not by trailer or gameplay. The betas and their focus on the system helped them out as well. So in my opinion, Sony wins again. And that's pretty much it right there. And as you can see, like I said, the game is over right there. And that's pretty much that with that. Now, what you are hearing is one of my tracks from my beat album, which is out now, called Doom Shrooms. Again, the OGs is out now. You can pick it up on YouTube or listen to it on YouTube or go to my Bandcamp site. All the info is in the description box below. Peace out, y'all.